Hey, everybody. Welcome today to Autoimmune Table Talk Live. I'm Maggie Yu MD, functional and holistic medicine physician and the owner of Transform. With me, we have a special guest today. Dude is back.
I'm back. Happy to be here.
Shark attack. Dude was here last week. We had Autoimmune Table Talk all about sex. If you missed it, you definitely want to check it out on our YouTube channel, Instagram, and in our Facebook group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. But last week, we had a hell of a lot of fun all about sex. And but interestingly, off camera after that, we had a lot of conversation just around what the heck is Transform Autoimmune? Who am I? What is it? What's so different about our program, outcomes, different things. There's so many questions about the program that Dude is back this week, and we're going to explore what is Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally? What is the Transform Protocol? Here we go. Oh my God, you guys just missed the geeky dance, everybody. Oh my God, Instagram did not miss the geeky dance.
It's something to see. That's
Damn.
for sure.
All right, let's hope that replay never happens from Instagram. Welcome, everybody. So if you are watching right now, we are going live today about what is Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally? What is the Transform Protocol? Who am I? A lot of questions that came up when we were talking last week. So we're going to dig right in a second. If you're watching, if you're an alumni who have done one of our programs, who have worked with me, I'd love for you guys to comment in the comment section what's your autoimmune issues, or even if you have no diagnosis, what your symptoms were and what changed for you during the program. If you're someone who knows nothing about me, Transform Autoimmune, or our program, please tell me in the comment section more about you. And the more detail you can give, the better. And then check your message inbox later on today or tomorrow, and our team have some additional questions for you and maybe sending you additional resource. So make sure you check your Facebook Messenger request button, and there usually somebody from our team has already asked further questions if you've been asking questions before. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, please click the link that's being provided in the comment section right now to join our Facebook group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally, where we literally have hundreds of bonus trainings like this and interviews and trainings all around autoimmunity and any symptom, to be honest. You don't even have to have autoimmune disease to be learning a shit ton here, period. So without further ado, Joseph, I'd love you, Dude, to introduce himself.
Yeah, so I am Joseph, aka Dude. It's good to be here with Dr. Yu. I work in the industry, and the reason why I've actually was so, excited to get into this is because there's not really much else out there like this as far as I'm concerned. So, I just had some questions, and, I think Maggie Yu has some answers for me.
I've got all the answers.
All right. I like it. So,
all right, we're going to get started. And if you have a question, those of you that do have questions, go ahead and type it into the chat, because when we have time, I'm going to be jumping into the question section and comment section to answer some of your burning questions. All right, everybody? All yours.
All right. So what exactly is Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally program? What is it?
Oh, that's loaded.
It's a loaded question.
I think it actually is an online educational and coaching program for people to actually learn from an expert how to use their own data to actually identify the root causes that's triggering their autoimmunity to end it. So it is an online program that's done in a small group, and it has tons of community support, education, and live coaching involved. So it is a very different model than traditional one-on-one, seeing one doctor here, one doctor there, which is what we've all done, which is why so many of us all are still sick. So I have answers. I have reasons why that's the case. But what I have discovered is that the online format, an educational format, and a true expert in autoimmunity teaching you how to be the pilot rather than the passenger in your own health has been the most powerful way to actually get results. And in a very short time, it's 2 months. Our program's 2 months. These, we have hundreds of interviews on our YouTube channel and our Facebook group. And these are real people with real results and real outcomes. So don't take anybody's word that these are the results that they have. We have actually the videos with real live people, every diagnosis or no diagnosis at all, turning things around. So I like providing proof. I'm a scientist, I'm a skeptic, and I love providing proof.
Okay. And so you mentioned it being a group program. Why exactly is it a group program?
Yeah. So what I have, so it goes back actually to, I think we should roll back to why this program was even formed in the first place.
Let's roll back.
Because that was surprising to me. The fact that shit works better in a group was shocking to me. So I can tell you a little bit of the origin around, I was, just so you guys know, first 10 years of my career as a family medicine doctor, a good one. And I got sick and got sicker and sicker and sicker after the birth of each of my children, to the point where by the time I was 36, I went into early menopause, and my doctor friends told me what I told my patients. Oh, you're just getting older, Maggie. There you go. Take some Prozac, get some therapy, get the birth control pill. You're a good little lady. Yeah. 20 pounds later, tons of hair loss later, depression, anxiety, ADD diagnosis later, and fibromyalgia, chronic pain later. I discovered that I actually was really sick with autoimmunity, not just early menopause. Early menopause was triggered by autoimmunity, and I actually had an autoimmune disease. There are deeper answers. There are deeper connections. There was a huge hormonal component to my disease that I discovered that really helped me over the next 18 months turn it around. Like after I discovered it was autoimmune disease, it took me about 18 months to really learn more and more and more, and then to actually put it together and practice what is actually now the Transform protocol. And within 18 months of my diagnosis, I was able to, believe it or not, turn around my menopause. My periods came back. My hormones came back to normal levels because the autoimmune attack wasn't attacking my ovaries like crazy anymore. And I reversed all my symptoms in that 18-month time frame.
Wow.
And that was the basis of Transform Autoimmune. But what I ended up doing after that time was opening up a functional medicine clinic in Portland, Oregon, and where half the providers were conventional doctors and primary care providers like me, and half of the providers were naturopathic physicians. And we delivered care around hormonal health, gut health, and autoimmunity. And we amassed the biggest population of autoimmune disease patients probably in the state. It was just, even though we didn't advertise it as that, the fact that got around that being a hormone expert, that's where I started, a bioidentical hormone expert. And then I started to focus on autoimmunity. It just naturally attracted a ton of people with autoimmunity.
Huh.
And that, fast forward, I was getting very frustrated because what it took to take care of the complexity of autoimmunity was very challenging in a clinical setting. People needed a lot of facets of care done in a synchronous time frame. Sounds weird, but by focusing just on one thing at one time, this is why people stayed sick. And so in a clinic setting where I'm seeing somebody and I don't see them for 6 weeks later, and then 6 weeks later, it would take me probably 5 to 6 years to do all the work with that client as we do now in a 2-month time frame. What I discovered was I started an online platform starting to record videos of things that I was saying to clients over and over again. And I recognized that what if I just put this all online in a program? And why not have a bunch of people do it at the same time with me live coaching them as they absorb and learn some of this content? So to my surprise, we started our program, I think December of 2017. And by June of 2018, we had over 100 people who've gone through our program. And the surprise shocking is this. Wow. Do you guys think in an online program platform, working in a group with other people with live coaching and support, do you think the results were less or slower? Because that was the biggest surprise to me. The results were way bigger, way faster, and permanent. And they continue to get better and better even after they were done with the program. So that shocked me. And I had to figure out why. And a couple of the things that the biggest thing, and I would ask clients this towards the end of the program, was what do you think was the biggest lever that contributed to your success? Number one, they said, actually the community. Going through the program with other people created a support structure or network or experience they never had dealing with autoimmunity. I'm going to ask you guys out there right now, and I'm just sharing my own experience here, because I felt like going with an unknown diagnosis for a long time and feeling cray-cray. And then even once I finally had the diagnosis, I felt like I was the only person having this experience, when in fact, now I know there were millions of Maggies. Now I know there's millions of Maggies, but just that fact alone, and not having that experience when I was used to one-on-one medicine, being able to experience just a group dynamic of people recognizing I don't even care if you have Crohn's and I have Hashimoto's. There's so many shared experiences, questions, and answers that I benefited from going through a program with you because I learned so many solutions and you asked questions I never would have thought of. So it made learning 10 times faster.
Hmm.
10 times faster when there are other people going through with different symptoms or different diagnosis or even the same symptoms or the same diagnosis. It doesn't matter. It made the learning 10 times faster.
Wow.
So this is why it's an online program because it works so much better. I closed my clinic 6 months later.
That's crazy.
I had never experienced the rate with which people got better. I also never experienced the ability to provide such a community and personal growth in a clinic setting that was one-on-one as I could in a small group setting in an online program.
Hmm. So I'm just out of curiosity. I mean, you answered a few of my questions there, but out of curiosity, how important it was you to kind of move over into the functional medicine realm rather than sticking strictly in that MD world?
It saved my life. I mean, it was out of necessity. When people are like, why did you go? What is functional medicine? How did you move into it? When this happened to me with early menopause, when I was going through my early symptoms postpartum with both my children, there's no such thing as functional medicine. I mean, that's when I went through med school, UCLA, one of the best schools in the country. And, there were no natural answers. And unless you went to a naturopath. So MDs who got sick, where the meds don't work, which was the only solution I had for people, we were considered like cray cray and we're out on our own, just like people were at that time. I had to seek out a ton of education through naturopathic seminars that were training naturopathic physicians to learn about it. So for me, it literally was just to save my own life. I mean, who the heck wants to have early menopause at the age of 36? Pain of 10 out of 10, weight gain of like 20 pounds, depression, ADD, brain fog, you know? I mean, nobody wants that. I felt like I was literally at my health bottom. And either I was going to die or I was going to I'm smart. I went through med school. Either I was going to die or I was going to save my own life. Why am I not investing in learning about how to save my own life and what other tools are out there? Birth control pills and Prozac did not work and they made me sicker, fatter, meaner, and I felt like I was going to die. So I had to have other solutions. And that's why I went into functional medicine. And thankfully, it's become a specialty in itself called functional medicine now, where more and more MDs and other practitioners are learning natural ways to use naturopathic and alternative medicine to combine it for me with all my MD training and practice together into something even more powerful.
Wow. I mean, that's a powerful message right there. Wow. So jumping back kind of towards the beginning, I'm curious, like, how did like at the very beginning, how did the initial groups and their results match with how you hoped it would turn out?
I'll be honest with you, I had no idea how it would turn out with the first 3 months of people that went through our program. I had hoped that they would get similar results in the clinic, but maybe I just didn't have to repeat the same thing to 10 different people in 10 different rooms every day. Maybe it was just more convenient for me at first, maybe I thought. But I was actually completely floored at the level of response we had. One of our first clients, Christina Chun, I remember, she had started out when we were just offering some of the tests online, but she switched and joined our program just about a month or two later when we actually went with our online program. And it was so fascinating to me that I felt so limited seeing her as a client in the clinic. And then when she was part of the online program, I mean, some of you guys, if you haven't seen Christina Chun's video, I did a video 2 months right after she finished the program and a year and a half later. Her results are freaking stunning. And it wasn't even the best result. It was a typical result. We're talking someone with scleroderma, lupus, Sjogren's, gastroparesis, you name it, migraines, Christina had it. She was just one of the many people that went through the program the first 3 months. I was shocked at how big the results were. Honestly, number one. Number two was how quickly it came. Like, who would say, like, in 2 months, you could turn around a lifetime of pain or 10 years of pain? I did not expect that. It shocked me, floored me, and it really humbled me to really think about there's a lot of legs here, and there's absolutely a different way and a better way to deal with complex chronic diseases like autoimmune disease. the results was what like shocked me and proved to me that this really worked. And over the last 4 years, I've been just making it better and better and better and better. How can we do this even faster? How can we do it deeper? How can we do it even better? That's an obsessive focus for me, is how can I deliver these results for people even better? That's probably my obsessive focus every single day that I think about. But it is shocking. It shocked the hell out of me. Did not expect it.
How cool. How cool. That kind of, so it brings me to my next question for, it's kind of a two-part question. How long is your program? And then what is the success rate in the program? And the doctor's favorite question, is there a guarantee?
Okay. Okay. These are questions you guys have all been asking. We are in calls with hundreds of you every month. By the way, if you want to book a call with our team, there's a link on top and below. You can, if you're interested in working with us, feel free to book a call with our team. But we talked to hundreds of you, and these are the exact same questions that people ask. So a couple things, which is that, what is our success rate? It's huge. And the thing is that it's bigger than anything I've ever experienced like for me prior to this, and it's bigger than anyone else have ever experienced who've been through our program. I would say that it's so interesting because I like to show people what the results are. So every week I actually interview 1 to 2 of our alumni that are graduating from the program. So I'm actually constantly putting out real live interviews of real journeys of people just at the end of 2 months. 2 months is the length of the program working with us, but I tell people it's 2 months to launch you into a year of autoimmune turnaround. And it's also it's also providing also in a lot of ways, various levels of support. And even once you graduate, you are in part of our alumni group, and our alumni are really tight knit and continue to support your journey in health through life, even after you're done with our program. We have an amazing alumni community. How many of you are in the alumni right now? Please comment in the chat below. I know you. I see you. If you're watching, if you can comment in the comment section below. I'm always watching. Is there, I would invite all of you, is that don't believe if someone tell you what their success rate is or something, because I want you to actually see real people and real results and real outcomes. How many doctors, how many programs have hundreds of videos of real people with impossible to solve medical problems and complex problems go through this? You can even search, go on our YouTube channel, go on our Facebook group. You can search, look at the guide section in our Facebook group, or just comment in the comment section below right now what your diagnosis or condition is. And a member of our team will ask a couple questions, and we'll even send you those video resources of any diagnosis, any symptom. I've seen it, all of it, done it all. Okay. Is there a guarantee? This is really an important thing. It is illegal in the United States to make any guarantees on a healthcare product or service. Illegal. So if someone tells you that they're guaranteeing you the results, whether they're selling you a supplement or a service, they are violating the law, and it's completely illegal to do so, because how can you make a guarantee about a particular result? Here's the other interesting thing is that when people ask me what is a guarantee, I do actually have one guarantee. Absolutely have one guarantee. If you don't do anything to interrupt the pattern of the autoimmunity that's been happening for the last 10 years, the next 3 to 10 years, that pattern, if you don't intervene in that pattern, I guarantee you will have 100% continued progression the next 3 or 10 years, just like you did behind you. That's guaranteed. And so for me, it's like there's a guaranteed outcome based on your history that's ahead of you if you don't interrupt that pattern. That's for sure. I know that. And for me, like if you think, oh, can this help my lupus? Can it help my Sjogren's? Can it help my RA? Absolutely. And what I want you to do is, check out our channel or comment in the comment section below, check your messages. We literally have hundreds of videos of real people who've solved these impossible to solve problems.
So, and I saw a comment actually down there that I wanted to bring up. How permanent, for lack of a better term, are the results from the program?
So I love it. And I think it's more of a question about sustainability. A lot of people are like, you have a lot of interviews and they look really great, and they're just 2 months after the program, right? To me, it's like, it is just 2 months after the program that they have these stunning results, right? And I love the fact that we have a ton of interviews 1 year, 1.5 years, even 2 years later. We have many interviews of people, because I love that sustainability question. Here are the results. They're even better. Because this is, for me, at the core, I'm actually educating people how to actually be the pilot and no longer the passenger in their health, and how to advocate themselves with their doctors for the rest of their lives. So how could that be just a 2-month outcome? That's a permanent long-term outcome, not only for that person, but for generations, for people above the generation above them, for the generation below them. This is altering 3 generations of healthcare journey outcomes, period.
Wow.
Minimally.
That's, yeah, I mean, that's, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? So I guess, what separates your program from other programs that are out there? I mean, I think that, everybody makes these claims, and so I guess I'm just curious, like, what are the big differences there?
The word programs is bastardized. Because how many of you, like, because we talk to people on the phone every day, and people tell us, I've been through programs, or I'm looking at 3 or 4 other programs. I will tell you, I love asking details about that, because what exactly do you mean by programs? Because I have not seen yet a comprehensive root cause approach to autoimmunity anywhere in the world like we do, period. So when I dig deeper, programs to people will mean I went through a supplement regime with a doctor, or I went through certain elimination diets with me. I went through a liver detox protocol with somebody. Like, that's not a program that's a comprehensive solution for autoimmunity. So the word programs mean nothing to me. It really is, who the heck in the world has the education, the coaching, and the history, and the wisdom, and the background, and the experience to be able to deliver something that's this comprehensive over a 2-month time frame. There's nobody else doing this in the world. So I'm 100% confident about that, 100% transparent about that we're the only program that's really doing that. I'm the only MD, functional MD, that's doing that.
And so it's, in a way, it's kind of like revolutionary. Like, in what ways is this revolutionary? In what ways is it different? I mean, you kind of I've heard you talk about kind of like the pods, the mastermind coaching, nutritionists being involved.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't watched the 5 pillars of Transform, there really are some common root causes that are triggering autoimmunity. And I cover that in my training called the 5 pillars of Transform. If you want more information on that, type in the chat 5 pillars of Transform and give me one more symptom or diagnosis you have, and that'd be awesome. But I really go into detail, like there really are certain areas, and it's comprehensive. When you look at it, I mean, I'm not going to list all of it. I'm not going to give that all away, because I want you to actually watch the training, because there's so much depth to it. When I discovered that you actually cover these 5 areas, right? And these 5 areas really require personalized data. So the problem is, a lot of people Google the shit out of things, and there's tons of generalized advice that's personalized to nobody. So really importantly is, yes, here's the protocol with these 5 areas, but what about your own personal data that's provided to insert into each piece of this pie? Right. So then you know how the hell each section applies to you personally, so that you have a solution for you. It's personalization is the most important thing around these 5 pillars, is really key. And that's just the what we do, but the how we do is, okay, who the heck is using your own personalized data? Who the heck is doing education around this? Seriously, there's about 3 to 4 hours of educational video modules that you watch on your own time. And then who the heck is providing hours of live coaching in small group, where you are answering these questions and asking these questions back and forth with me? So I'm training you and others how to think like me. I actually tell people who join our program on the first orientation call, I say, if I do my job right, which I always do, by the end of this, you're going to know how to think like me. I'm not here so you can learn to run to another MD or another doctor and beg for an answer. I'm here to teach you how to come up with 99% of these answers on your own, like this, at the end of this time. What MD is teaching other people, patients or clients, how to think like them? What MD even knows how to think around autoimmunity? So for me, that's really unique. How can you have all these answers around how to approach this? And I'm here to actually teach you how to be the master to do this, rather than, oh, you're dependent on me for answers for the rest of your life. Come back just to me over and over again. I don't teach a dependency model. I'm absolutely teaching a self-trust, educational, self-piloting model of turning around your health, which is why it's revolutionary and different.
So you're telling me that me going on WebMD and diagnosing myself doesn't work anymore?
Yeah, that's jockage. Yeah, that's jockage.
Right. You mentioned something there. It's like, and that I want to touch on. It's like, what separates you, or what makes you the autoimmune disease specialist?
So I love that question because here's the truth. And I really want you guys to think this is behind the scenes, honest truth. There are no autoimmune disease specialists out there in reality. Not the way I think about it. Because you're thinking about a comprehensive approach where there's medical considerations and all the natural approaches that's looking at the roots of what's causing this whole tree to grow, that someone who's the master of that, a specialist of that, is truly an autoimmune disease specialist. What we have is a bastardization of that term because you have a lot of people, quote unquote, calling themselves an autoimmune disease specialist, or patients think they're an autoimmune disease specialist just because they're a rheumatologist or an endocrinologist. And the truth of the matter is they're really good maybe at one piece of a pie. So example is if you go to a medical doctor, whether it's an endocrinologist, GI, or rheumatologist, they're the expert on knowing how to prescribe medication or do a procedure around your diagnosis. That is it. They know zilcho about diet, lifestyle, supplementation, or alternative medicine. They know jack shit about it. Okay. That's where, and that's telling you the truth from a medical standpoint. So they're not an autoimmune expert. They're an expert on prescribing medication and procedures. So understand that. Good people, good intention, good training, limited offer. Now, then someone's like, I've been to all these naturopaths and all these functional medicine doctors. I know all there is. I've done it all. What makes you so special? We get asked that all the time. And the thing is that the training of functional providers and natural providers is actually really, to me, very difficult and limited as well. Because the real training, when you look at it, is they get a couple days on each section of something, like 3 days on hormones. I now have done the hormone module. Now I'm a hormone expert. Bullshit. It's not, right? You have to have and it's not just about hormones, right? But then there's what about gut? What about food? What about mold? What about this? What about Lyme? What about that? There's a lot of factors that feed into these triggers, right? And if you think about the typical medical doctor, you might take your own extra money, your own extra time to go get training. Can you get trained functional and natural medicine in all those boxes and do all those boxes well? And the answer is no. It truly is no. And I've gone to these trainings. I've done all these trainings, and I see these docs really struggle. And what they end up doing is naturopaths and functional doctors will focus on a little sliver. I'm the mold expert. I'm the Lyme expert. I'm the hormone expert. So what the problem with that is they're really good natural doctors in that one little sliver, one offer, limited offer. But when you actually go and watch the 5 pillars of Transform, you're going to see that there's like a whole pie of things that work together. And not only do each of them matter, but doing them at the same time together works 10 times faster and better. So for me, I guess the lucky thing about it is that I was a family medicine physician before I got sick, and I had 10 years of practice as a functional doc in a functional clinic, doing hormone therapy, doing hormone evaluations, doing ADD, ADHD, psych evaluations, doing med evaluations for all sorts of different things, and learning about gut. And I'm older than I look. I'm 52. And I've been practicing at medicine for almost 26 years at this point, of which half of it's been spent not only training as a functional doc, but practicing it and then putting into a succinct model. So for me, the problem is that you got real, and I've talked to my colleagues who are naturopaths and functional doctors. They're my friends, and I'm one of them, right? But there's a big difference between what they do and what I do in terms of they're all in one little sliver in one little lane, because that's easier than being somebody who's really an expert generalist and good at every little piece to put it together. I'm an integration specialist. I know how to put all these pieces together, and that is my zone of genius, but there really is nobody else that's doing that. And I wish there actually was more people doing that, so that when someone says, I need a functional doc that specializes in autoimmune disease, I wish there was a list of 100 docs to give them. As of the time of this recording, me personally, I truly know in this country, there's really only about 5 doctors that I would say are truly autoimmune specialists of functional medicine. It really doesn't exist. It's actually very rare.
That's crazy. I mean, I never would I have thought that. And I look back to like all the claims that some of my old doctors have made, and it's like, well, like how accurate was that at that time, right? And it makes me feel a little misled, which, you know.
But the thing is, people think like, oh, I'm really good at gut health. I'm a naturopath. I'm really good at gut health. Therefore, I'm an autoimmune specialist because what? A lot of people that come in to see me are autoimmune. Not true. Are you an expert in hormones? Are you an expert in nutrition? Are you an expert in blood sugar? Are you an expert in vitamins and minerals? Are you actually also working with clients to change how they think, which is mindset work? Mindset work is a big part of our program. My personal growth work and how it plays out in the program is a huge part of why people get success. So I'm actually very interested in the spirituality, the energy that people have, their thoughts, their language, and how it impacts on health. I'm very interested in how trauma actually has played a huge role in people's current symptoms and what role it's playing now. And excuse me, and how you can intervene in trauma and autoimmune disease. There's got to be deeper awareness and understanding. And in fact, yesterday, Joseph, in one of our programs, we did a whole 2-hour call in a small group, going through and talking through and connecting all the dots between trauma and autoimmunity. It's really real. And until we actually understand how trauma really impacts upon our nervous system and how our nervous system really impacts upon autoimmune disease, and how intervening in that and interrupting that process or healing that process produce results, who the hell is talking about that?
Right.
Nobody is talking about that. And I love being able to share my own personal growth, my own experience, and bring that into this conversation and bring that into actionable plans and items and personal growth for people.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's a cool thing. Mind is a powerful thing. And, anytime, people focus on mental health these days, it's just, I love hearing it. So you mentioned kind of just briefly, speaking about functional medicine, like how important is supplements in your program?
So a lot of people think that's why I don't like that word program. I've done programs before because a lot of what other people, a lot of doctors or a lot of things people buy around autoimmune disease, they call it program. And what it really is a supplement sales. It's just supplement sales, selling people supplements. And my view on supplements is that they're important, like they are important, but supplements are just green medicine in a lot of ways, meaning that they are trying to deal with some of the symptoms, some of the results of underlying processes that aren't fixed. And so for me, like I am not a program, I'm the opposite. You're not like joining this program to get on Dr. Maggie Yu's supplement program protocol for life. That's really the opposite of what I'm really teaching people. What I really teach and advocate for is what is the root causes triggering your autoimmune disease? Okay. How do we use the data for you to know what the cause is? How do we fix the cause so you don't have to take these supplements for life? Is actually my philosophy. Yeah, there's certain things we all need. We all need vitamin D. There's certain things we're going to all need. But everything else around supplementation got to be data driven and got to be also like for a limited period of time, as long as you fix the root cause. So everything in this program is the opposite of a supplement program, which is what all these other programs really are. Is really just selling supplements. So for me, yes, I think educating people in the program about supplementation is really important. The most important thing that I feel I do is educating people around how to use their data and their education to have educated supplement selection that really aims at fixing root causes so that they don't have dependency on supplements either.
Okay. And so what if like one didn't have an autoimmune diagnosis? Would this program still help them?
Okay. This is going to like break the internet if this your diagnosis doesn't even matter to me. I actually have done videos around this where the diagnosis doesn't even matter. And I think it's really important because I feel like one of the biggest crucial pieces of time lost for people is that there's a window to intervene. The earlier you intervene in autoimmunity or any chronic disease, the smaller the intervention that's needed, the quicker the turnaround, right? And the more you're actually preventing long-term permanent damage, right? But yet, do you know that it takes years and sometimes most people, like 30% of people that I see, never even get a diagnosis. But all their healthcare dollars, all their time is being spent going to specialist to specialist to specialist, trying to figure out what diagnosis it is. And I can tell you right now, there are reasons why, but most autoimmune disease, there isn't even a blood test to diagnose yet. In the thyroid alone, there's 6,000 targets of autoimmune attack. Do you know how many targets we have a blood test for? 3. So what about the other 5,997 other targets of autoimmune attack that we don't have blood tests for? Does that mean you don't have an auto disease of your thyroid? Does that mean you don't have 10,000 symptoms? And are you going to spend the next 10 years searching for that diagnosis that we don't even have a blood test for? Or are you going to end it now? That's the thing, is really the focus isn't on the diagnosis, because it doesn't matter. Like, can you help me with lupus? Can you help me with Crohn's? Can you help me with Sjogren's? The answer is yes. Can you help me if I have ADHD? Yes. Can you help my child with autism? Yes. Can you help my child with pandas? Yes. You know why? The truth of the matter is, the 5 pillars of Transform, it's actually the 5 pillars of functional medicine to actually identify the root cause of any medical problem. And my team's probably going to ding me for saying this. I could have easily rebranded this program in 20 different ways. Transform your ADD naturally. Transform your IBS naturally. Transform your hormonal problems naturally. Transform your shitty husband naturally. Like, I was going to point at you.
Yeah, I caught that one.
No, but
Thanks,
like,
Maggie.
no, but like if you're an alumni and you didn't even come into this program for autoimmune disease, because that's about 30% of people didn't have a diagnosis that comes to this program. The other thing is, so many people have gone through our program, had unexpected results from their ADD. Some people come in, didn't even think they were going to gain weight or lose weight, and they have surprising things. Some people came in because they couldn't sing. They were told Barbara had vocal cord dysfunction, could not sing, and she's a choir teacher in high school. And she didn't come in thinking, I'm going to fix my voice naturally. She's singing again after 10 years of losing her voice. So does it matter whether her voice was autoimmune disease mediated, or is the most important thing is she's singing again? And that's what's important to me. The focus is, we can intervene on any chronic disease using this model, which is the 5 pillars of Transform. The diagnosis has no matter to me whatsoever, which is shocking to a lot of people, because they're like, oh, it's Transform Autoimmune. Do I have autoimmune? Do I not? Doesn't matter. You got symptoms? You want to stop it? You want to intervene? Yes, this program's going to help you. Yes, this is the approach that you need to take. So that's really like, get away from that diagnosis and really get on with what can interrupt this pattern. And to be honest, those of you without a diagnosis, on your watch and my watch, I hope and know you will not get a diagnosis, is my hope and my know here. So that's how opposite around diagnosis I am compared to other people.
I love that. I love that. So my big question is, can Dr. Maggie be my doctor?
You got 99 problems. So a lot of people ask that. They're like, oh, if I sign up for this program, are you my doctor? I'm going to tell you something, okay? This one-on-one model that you're used to, that I delivered medical care for 20 years in my career, is what isn't working for chronic disease. It's great to get a medication. It's great to get a cast. It's great to get a procedure. It's great to get some blood work. It is not the solution. And so what I've learned was that I'm not going to repeat a pattern that doesn't work. So in the program, I'm not your doctor. I'm actually better. I'm actually your health coach, teaching and training you so that you actually, this is even 10 times better. I'm 10 times better than being your doctor, is that I'm going to teach you how to be your own doctor, to think like me, to have skills that's going to actually transform your autoimmunity and your health for life. That's 10 times better than me being your doctor for a while. I'll be honest with you. And what would it be like also if I taught you the skill to actually have you choose with discernment and learn how to collaborate with any doctor that you decide to bring your circle for life? Like, what is that? That's way better than, oh, I'm dependent on Dr. Maggie as my doctor to fix your 99 problems.
Right. Spot on. I mean, really.
Yeah. So there's a big difference. I'm here to actually really educate and empower people to get to do something completely different and get completely different results as a result of that.
Changing lives.
Let's not repeat shit that doesn't work. and hey, if you need to go in urgent care, if you need to go get a prescription for something or a procedure, something, go see your doctor, right? But that isn't the solution in autoimmunity at all, or complex diseases. Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful.
All right, let's take a look. Do we have any questions here in chat? All right, you guys. I'm seeing that a lot of alumni here are commenting. That's so awesome. Someone says alumni here. Lucy Lou says she's preaching. I love this, Lucy. I saw Michelle up there with some comments initially as well. You love watching me. Thank you. Dude's gonna get super jealous, Michelle, if you don't say you like watching him.
Yeah,
kind of a prima donna
please.
here.
Please.
I love it. All right. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Alumni here, you all. Maggie has got it figured out. That is so awesome. Thank you, everybody. So I think a couple things, which is that I was wondering, and I'm going to ask the audience out here, would you guys like a live next week or sometime about what it's like to actually work with us? Would you like to learn about the logistics of what it's of like who is on our team, what we do, what is the experience of it like going through our program? If you want to know what it's like to work with us, I would love in the comment section if you could write what it's like to work with you, please. And I will, if there's enough of you next week, I am absolutely willing to go into some logistics of exactly giving you, with full transparency, what's actually behind the scenes at Transform. If you would like that, if you could put that in the comments alive on what it's like to work with you, that'd be awesome. Absolutely can do that. Cindy, Chris already said yes. Hey, Chris, awesome. All right, everybody. So without further ado, I think this is a wrap. Is it a wrap?
It's a wrap.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.